Good morning, everybody. I hope we're all alright. I have just dropped a post over on the Mammoth Alliance, and it's kind of the first post of a series that I am looking on putting together. I appreciate these posts themselves. They're quite long. I mean, I think they're worth taking a bit of time to read, a couple of minutes, but I appreciate everybody's short of time these days. I'm trying to keep them as simple as possible. I mean, realistically, these concepts are big, they're deep, especially when we're talking about well-being and people's mental health. It's a serious topic, and I think that offering a sort of a simplified version without I'm not trying to, diminish people's ability to understand what we're talking about, but what I mean is trying to get as much as possible out there, as easy as possible and as accessible as possible. And for anybody that's been following this, that's kind of my goal, always has been. This first section of the series is going to be looking into some of the fundamental sort of foundational concepts, some of the concepts I fell in love with. It's very Rogerian. I'm going to cover some of the core principles that the wonderful Carl Rogers talked about. I'm going to have a little touch on the concepts of the self, or ideas of self-identity. Not to be confused with like the buzzwords of political identity. I mean, as in what we really think of ourselves, and our concepts around ourselves. And have a little look at some of those core conditions that we run through in the psychotherapeutic setting. Some of the ones that have really worked for me and that kind of got me involved in this process. Some of the ones that I enjoy using when building relationships with other people. A little look at some defences as well, and such, sort of some of the reasons why we feel that we feel, possibly some of the reasons we that lead up to that, some of the reasons that we try and run away from it. And I think they're a nice set of posts. They're going to be worth keeping an eye on. I'm not just saying that to kind of promote myself, or this isn't about promoting me. This is really about the concepts, and that's one of the reasons I keep the posts rather faceless, and I keep my opinion out of them. I'm going to be extending these over on the Substack into slightly deeper posts. I'm going to get a little bit more academic with it. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with it over on the Substack. You guys can always jump over there. I will pop a link up at the bottom of this video. That's not a problem. And at the moment it's free to subscribe, so just jump over there, get involved. I mean, comment. I post and share these out everywhere, and the reason I do it and I share them across the board is because I want to spread it far and wide. It's not there's no advertising link to them. I don't advertise any services that I provide. It really is about these simple concepts, and I do think there's some value in learning them. I personally myself, had I have not started off really learning these concepts, therapy for me changed. When I did start understanding, it wasn't just me then sitting in a room talking to people. I engaged more with it, and it became really powerful for me. So I think that the value really is learning these fundamental concepts, spreads far and wide, and hopefully for those that maybe have disengaged a little bit with the idea of psychotherapy, maybe some of these concepts might just sort of open that door again for you. I hope it does, because I believe it to be a really powerful tool. For those that do understand a little bit about psychotherapy, maybe some of these posts give you a different direction to look at things. And if they do, just comment, just shout out, connect, jump on a call with me, whatever. Just shout out, put your hand up and all that. I'm hoping to maybe cobble together some form of a course that I can direct out you know, I want to do that properly. That's not something, I'm not a teacher, and I'm certainly not expecting to go out here and start training counsellors. That's not the idea. But what I think that maybe a little bit of education for people, explaining what these are actually about, and from a bit of a personal way, group setting, and then a little bit of a reflection space afterwards. I'm working on something there, and that's something else that I would love for people to get involved with, jump on board with, comment, share ideas. I like a lot of it's dead funny, isn't it? But a lot of things that when you think about the concept of forming relationships and learning to understand yourself and well, all of that, anything like that, really. You know, forging healthy habits, careering on up to the top, and it all really, it all forms on forging relationships. And whether that be a relationship with yourself or with somebody else, or whether that be a relationship with a peer, a colleague, a community, whatever it is, I mean, fundamentally, we really get to the centre of these things by talking, speaking, talking to others, talking to yourself on the phone like I do it all the time, talk to myself whilst I'm driving, sharing experiences, you know, and conversation, that concept of talking through things and just talking and learning and talking and learning and talking, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful. It literally has, I mean, it has the power to, words have the power to start wars, right? But they also have the power to tear down walls, and it's one of these wonderful things that when we start exploring the concept of just conversating and being heard, but also hearing somebody, really hearing somebody, not hearing what they're saying, but hearing them, what's going on for them. And that's something that, I mean, it still gets me here. It still gets me here. So that's what I want to do. I will start reaching out, and we're going to start putting something together. But I really, really, really want to start connecting out with you lot. So if you've got to the end of this, because I've always got dead passionate and waffled, I feel like you're with me on my way here, and it's great because I've got somebody to talk to. The strange thing is, it's myself. But if you want to connect, or you want to reach out, or you want to jump on a call, Mammothtalks@gmail.com. Reach out. It'll be down here below as well, somewhere in the comments, not in the footwell of the passenger seat of the car. But Mammoth Talks. Let's just get talking. You know, share experience. That's what it's all about. I am also still developing the Her model. It is underway, but that's for another day. Appreciate you all. Hope the day turns into whatever you want it to be, and if it doesn't, and it's just about surviving, then that's fine. Let's survive together, and you know, tomorrow we might just survive as well. Who knows? We don't do it, but what I do know is talking helps, and conversation helps, and forging those relationships in the right places really helps. Being heard helps, listening helps, hearing somebody helps. It all helps. So don't be shy, don't be scared. I know it feels a bit vulnerable, but this is kind of showing you that actually, I'm hoping that this is showing you that really there's that preconception of psychotherapy, and there's a whole other dynamic outside of that preconceived idea of what it is that people, I feel, are missing out on because stigma or accessibility to services, or, you know, there's a whole world there, and it's worth exploring. Appreciate you all.